Most of the candidates do not negotiate the first offer they have received from the recruiter. And that's the biggest mistake they are making in their job search because they are leaving money on the table. If you're also in the same boat, my name is Vijay and I'm going to teach you today how to negotiate your salary effectively. So let's check this out. So in today's video, I'm going to share you very important pointers around what exactly is the problem here. Why is it that you are not able to negotiate? How is it that you can research around it? Why would a company be open to have a conversation with you around negotiation? Why wouldn't they move to a different candidate quickly? And eventually, the most important point, how should we be negotiating? But first, if you are new to this channel, do consider subscribing this video because I'll keep on sharing more videos around salary negotiation and job search, which will help you eventually in finding a job that you have been targeting for. Okay, let's get started with the mind map. So the problem statement that typically people have is that they have a fear in their mind. The fear is, and the fears basically stems from one is lack of knowledge. You are applying for a role, but you are not sure what is it that you should be quoting uh, as a salary. Uh, Either because you haven't done enough research around what should be the salary for it, or you already are earning a salary which you don't have a way to benchmark, right? I mean, and you are benchmarking your salary that you should be quoting from that salary that you're getting right now. That's point number one. Point number two is fear of I would say losing. See, it's a very simple case. Um, there is a company that is offering you, let's say, 15% hike. So there is a surety. The moment you accept, you get that 15% hike. And then you have this mind in you, and that is saying that you should ask for 30% hike. But at the same time, that, the back of the mind tells you that if you do that, there is a 50% chance company might say, okay, we are moving with a different candidate, right? So if the back of the mind were to choose between the two, like a 15% hike with 100% surety, 30% hike with 50% surety, it is natural that the mind will choose 15% hike, right? So that is called as fear of losing. Okay. And when you have that fear of losing, you most of the time end up accepting an offer, even though there was a chance of negotiation in that role. Okay. Now, how do we solve for that? The first piece is negotiation, the research. How do we do research? There are two ways of doing it. One is you go to these portals on internet, portals such as there is Glassdoor, okay, or you can also go to a portal called as Ambition Box, okay, or you can go to portal called as levels.fyi, and then finally there is one more I have in my mind, that is Spacekill. Okay. So you can go to either of these platforms and find out what exactly is the salary that is being offered for that role by that company or by that industry, and for the kind of experience that you're bringing in. That will help you immensely in coming out of the mindset that my salary is X and I can only ask for 15%, 20% hike on that X. Okay, if you are also in the same boat, please go to these websites and find what exactly is the number companies are offering for the role that you have been targeting. That's one. Second is, in some cases, when you're targeting a role or targeting a company which um, is not that big, there is a chance that the number for that company might not be there in Glassdoor or in Ambition Box. In such cases, you can go to LinkedIn and target the people who are working in those organizations. You can just reach out to them and simply ask them that, hey, I'm looking to work or looking forward to work in this organization because I've been selected as one of the candidates, but I haven't yet accepted the offer. And I just wanted to understand what sort of salary range people typically get in this organization. Maybe three, four, five people might not be comfortable in sharing the number. There would be one or two people who would willingly be, who would be willing to give that number to you. Okay, so get that number and then start getting into the salary negotiation part. Okay. Now, once the research part is done, once you have a decent idea around what should be the number, um, you are ready for negotiation. But there is one very important question that is there in your mind. Why would a company negotiate? They have lot of candidates lined up. Why would they want to have a conversation with you? And why would they give you more money around it? So a very important point on this, okay? When a company is hiring someone, they are hiring for uh, first, obviously, the person should have the right kind of knowledge. Second, there should be a fitment with the culture of that company. Okay. And when they have already given you an offer, already rolled out an offer, that means they already believe that you are someone with whom they have a fitment, and also you have the right kind of knowledge to get hired for that role. Okay. And if you are asking for a number that is within the budget of that company would definitely want to exercise that option of increasing the CTC that they have quoted to you in their first offer, because um, giving something from the budget versus they going back to the job market again and conducting interviews and then searching for people, going through the list of resumes, and then eventually uh, finding a guy who is similar to you or better than you. And that's a lot of exercise that wastes the time of a lot of people, at least few hiring managers, few rounds, and then it is also wasting the time of the people who are into the recruitment team as well, right? So instead of going through that kind of pain, companies prefer to probably increase the salary range that they had initially given to the candidate who has appeared for the interview. Okay, of course, if your ask is absolutely out of the park. If let's say a company says that I'm willing to give you 20, let's say 20 lakh rupees, and you're asking for 50 lakh rupees, that's not going to happen, right? I mean, in that case, the company has no choice but to go to the other candidates who have applied for the role. But if your ask is within that budget, companies are willing to negotiate because you are the right candidate. Okay. Now, if you understood this, how do we negotiate? Let's go to the very, very important point for which we all of us are here and watching this video. Let's look at how do we negotiate. The first rule of negotiation is do not give a number. Okay. When I say this, the first thing that the recruiter will ask you is, what is your current CTC? And why do they ask this number? They ask this number because they want to get a number from you, set a low anchor, and then give something on that, so that they can they can agree you on a number which is well within their budget, right? Why am I saying this to you is, please understand, no company defines what should you be paid basis what you're earning right now. Every company defines what you should be paid basis the budget they have kept for that role. That budget is not defined basis what you're earning right now. Every candidate who is applying for the role is earning a different amount of money, right? So if that is the case, then the company might be asking this number, but they're asking this number only because they want to set an anchor, okay, low anchor. And you need to avoid this by, first, what you can say is that you can either do a counter question such as, may I know what is the budget for the role? Because I am willing to work on a CTC that is well within budget and what other people are also earning within the organization. Okay. If the company if the recruiter shares the budget with you, that's great. If they don't share, which is what is the case most of the time, what you need to do is you need to talk about the um, uh, salary band. Okay, salary band that you have gotten from the research that you conducted here. You can say that based on my research and the experience that I have and the kind of value that I bring in, I'm expecting a salary range between, let's say, 15 lakhs to 20 lakh rupees. And if uh, you are, if that's something that fits within your budget, I'm okay to definitely, consider whatever salary that you are giving to me. Okay. Um, so that's a very important point. And if you do that, if the recruiter is okay, that's great. You can continue the discussions from there. And if that is not the case, that if the recruiter is still insisting on the number, your CTC, in that case, you can always tell them that, okay, I'm earning, let's say, X amount of money right now, but the kind of skill set that I bring in, the kind of certifications have I done, the kind of work experience I have, okay, and the kind of research that I have done, I am expecting this kind of salary, right? So this is something that we can talk about so that the recruiter is very clear about the kind of ask that you have. Okay, they might come out with a lot of counter questions as well, but this has to be, so you have to insist on the number that is there on the budget. Okay, if nothing works out, okay, if nothing works out, there is a, a hack that I'm going to give you, which help, so which typically works most of the time. Now the hack is, uh, when the recruiter says that, uh, like what exactly is your expectation, you can tell the recruiter that I am also getting interviewed at a couple of other organizations also for the same role, and they are willing to offer me within a salary range of X to Y. Okay. Now, when you say that, there is no specific answer typically recruiters have for this. Okay. Uh, if it is indeed within the budget, the recruiter should accept the conditions that you have kept here. But despite that, if the recruiter says that I can only give you, let's say, a 10% hike on the salary, or a 5% hike on the salary, or a 15% hike on the salary, and that's the company policy that we have, then you need to reconsider. Okay. If you are switching for getting a better hike, you should upfront politely decline the offer that the company is given to you, because that's the kind of hike you will anyway get in your current appraisal cycle from your current company also. Okay. And that's something that has happened to me as well in the past, when I was also getting doing a salary negotiation for with a company, and I had to then politely decline the offer uh, that the company has given to me, because that was their final offer. Okay, so there's no merit in going for to that company. If you are mm, switching for a different reason, okay, then it's fine. But if you are switching to the company because you want to get a salary hike, then it is completely okay to negotiate. And that's the reason I, typically recommend people to be in the process of as many companies as you can, because that is where the control comes in your hands. Not because you should haggle with the recruiters, but because you can use that as a lever to make sure that you are getting the best money for the value that bring you kind of bring to the organization. Okay. So to summarize the conversation that I have just done here, the first and the most important part is that you need to do research before you start negotiating your offer on what exactly should you be getting for that role. Second part is, you need to be comfortable with the idea that the recruiters are expecting you to negotiate. The first offer is typically negotiated by almost everyone. If you are um, in that fear that, oh, they might say no to me, that's not how typically things happen. Okay. The third is that the recruiter might push you towards setting up a low anchor, such as asking you for the CTC that you're running right now. Your objective should be to set up a high anchor, such as, whatever is the budget for that company, or whatever research that you have done, and basis that you need to quote a number that you are expecting, irrespective of what percentage is that number from your current cities that you are earning from your current organization. Okay. If you like this video, if you like this idea, do consider subscribing this do consider following me or subscribing me from wherever you are watching this video. And I'm going to see you in the next video, where I'm going to share more information, more ideas around how you can negotiate your salary for specific use cases.